Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me. This is Bearlissimo and this is another bite-sized breakdown, and today we're going to be looking at the Bears offense in the first series where things appeared to go wrong, and we're going to look at why I believe that is, and I'll point out what we're looking at and why I think we struggled in that first series. And then we're going to look at the second series to see what changed and why things look so much better in that second series. So to start off with this play, this is the very first play of the game for the offense. You see we're in gun. In terms of what the offense strength is, obviously we've got two tight ends to the left side of the formation, the half back to the left of the formation, and we've got two wide receivers split to the top of the field. In terms of coverage, what the defense is showing, obviously outside leverage on this wide receiver, outside leverage on this wide receiver, and a wide safety rolled up into the box, wide safety rolled into the box. Obviously 4 down linemen down here, 2 linebackers, and we've got DB. So it looks like they're in like a heavy nickel, sort of 2 defenders. Obviously Owusu Koromoa is a very good linebacker and he plays for them. So as you see, straight zone right. So Larry Borum needs to get on the outside shoulder there of this defender. Tevin Jenkins then needs to take over as Larry goes to second level. Sam Mustafa needs to get play side, get this man off the line of scrimmage because it's quite a distance to play that one tech from a guard who has an outside shade 3 that we see here. He's got to then get across and try and get play side because obviously David Montgomery is going to be coming over here somewhere. And then obviously the tight ends we see here taking this back side of the play. As you see it roll through, you can quite clearly see here we've got penetration straight away on the inside of Tevin Jenkins. We've got, I don't know if you can see him here, but you can just see his hat there. Mustafa's got a hat on body, but we're not actually driving this man off the line of scrimmage. He's actually got penetration into the backfield, which is not good for the run. We're going to roll forward a few frames, and we can see Larry Borum gets off to the second level, now tracking this linebacker here. Tevin has actually lost position now on this defensive tackle, who is basically in the only chance that David Montgomery's now got is to bounce it outside and then cut back, or to stop and completely reverse. That's the only options he's got because we've got penetration into the gap. Tevin's lost contain here. Larry's going down to second level, so is Sam Mustafa, and we can see that Cody Whitehair hasn't quite got his head play side there. And as we roll through, obviously it's a bit of a bad situation. Tevin does recover at this point and gets helmet on the defender and drives him off, but he's had enough of David Montgomery for the second defensive tackle to get a piece, and then David's on his way down. And then from the backside, you see Braxton Jones all the way from the left tackle position on 98, who's sort of slanting away from him at this point, and he's had no help at all from Whitehair, no touch, no assistance at all. He's actually managed to get body on that player and he's running and washing him across, but obviously we've got 1, 2, 3 defensive tackles, sort of 3-4 yards into the backfield. It's a recipe for disaster for any run, really. So that's how that looked. And then we're going to go to the second marker. So we'll roll through, look at it from this direction. Obviously you're going to see it much easier from this. And again, we'll sort of draw it up and we'll sort of point out what we're looking at. So outside there, we need to drive this man off the line of scrimmage. Tevin takes over. Obviously a one tech, so if you can get a hand on him before you go across, it makes the centre's job a little bit easier. The problem is for Cody Whitehair, if we get nothing on here, that makes Braxton's job a lot harder, but he really does have quite a distance, as you see, to get over past the centre into the one tech gap. And as we roll through and we're going to the snap, you see the ball get snapped there. And we actually, it's almost like it goes completely against us, because as we go zone left, going over this way, the problem is that we actually get the defensive tackle here slants into the gap across the centre's face. So he's kind of going straight into the gap. And this he actually adjusts really well because he is also slanting, but he adjusts really well to go straight up, head up on Tevin Jenkins. And then as you see, Tevin is just literally washes past. Problem is you see he crosses his feet up here compared to where his shoulders are. Really, we want this right leg to be out wide, sort of a zone step to the right. But what we do is, it is a zone step, the first step, but then he crosses up his feet completely. And at that point, the defensive tackle's got drive on. That's what rolls him around. That's why he overtakes. Sam comes off a little bit too easy because Cody hasn't yet taken over this block here. He hasn't got play side. Sam comes off just a little bit too early for me there. Obviously, you've got tight end there. Ryan, I can't remember his surname. Cole Kmet's got backside, that's not a problem. In terms of Braxton Jones, again, tough block because he's inside him, he's a 3-tech. He's got to get play side, he's getting no help at all from the guard. Gets onto him, but 94 makes a play. Basically, 96 wrecks it, going inside there to Sam Mustafa and Cody Whitehair. 94 is the one who wrecks it though, because, like I say, Tevin just overruns it a little bit. And again, he's very new to guard in terms of position, but as you see, he recovers well, gets body on the player, who manages to keep a hand on. That's what brings David Montgomery down. So that's the reason why the first play, and obviously then we're obviously struggling a little bit because we're now at second down, and we are struggling because we are now obviously behind the 8 ball in terms of distance. Down in distance makes it a bit easy for the defense. So in terms of what we've got now, obviously no tight end, well, one tight end on the field, sorry. There's the tight end, and we can see obviously split wide receiver. In fact, I'm not sure if that's Cole Kmet down the bottom there. We'll roll through a little bit, because if that's Cole Kmet, then it shows you it's zone, because obviously by alignment you'd be looking at the fact that have you got a cornerback on him, or have you got a safety or linebacker that's travelled out with the tight end. Can't quite see, is that a tight end? Yeah, it is, it's Cole Kmet. Bottom of the screen. So in terms of what we're getting on the play, more of a draw type of action, as you see, pass set. So everyone's pass setting, tight end comes off, which is Cole Kmet's here. So Cole Kmet's here, he overruns, so he's coming out to his target, who's basically sitting waiting. So what you want to do is sit and wait in front of him, and we don't, we overrun that. So we run to the spot, we run into a spot rather than looking where the player is and staying, keep in position, just hold there. And as he's coming, then you can drive him, and you're giving then your option for your halfback to make a cut either way off the back of him, depending upon where this defender goes. So that's where we're going with that. In terms of everyone else, Tevin Jenkins doing a good job, Larry Borum doing a good, Braxton Jones on this side, mirroring, just keeping his body between player and ball. We've got a double here, but we're not getting that much movement. We are getting some, but the problem is both linebackers are just completely able to fill both sides of this. This is not good by Cole Kmet, unfortunately, on this play. And that's why it's at the both linebackers are able to fill. David's then in straight into contact to the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing on the play. You'll see it better from this angle. So obviously these are the two linebackers that we're concerned with in terms of making a play. We need a double to win here, really. Obviously the doubling there, single, 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 coming down here to make a block. And as we see, double's okay. So we're looking like pass set. Maybe don't hold the ball up long enough. So really, if anything, Justin could help just a little bit, just another half a second, because you see here the time marker at the bottom. He's got the ball up to pass, but the ball is vertical. It's not looking like he's actually going to pass. He's just holding it like he's holding an Easter egg round about Easter time. He's got the Easter egg. Now he's handing off the Easter egg to David Montgomery. A bit of levity for you. Obviously, both linebackers are now already up and into this hole. The only option really David's got is if he cuts back here, as we see that the two defenders have obviously overrun. So if he cuts back to this side, then we actually have a chance. But obviously, he's at this point, it's very difficult for him to make that cut. He goes, linebackers come up, fill, and make the play. Now we're into the third play of the drive. Obviously, third and very long, as you can see from the down marker just down here. We've managed to get about half a yard back from the 3 that we initially lost. 3rd and 12. Looks like too high in terms of alignment. So we're looking at where the DBs are, because that's going to give us clues. Inside alignment here, safety over the top. Head up, we've got head up there, but inside alignment from this linebacker, Wusa Koromoa, outside alignment there. So if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say this is going to be an outside zone here, it's going to be a deep half, it's going to be a deep half, and this is possibly man coverage here, with then you would expect man coverage on Darnell Mooney there. Let's see what we get when we roll outside. So motions, you can see now we're bailing here to the outside, so now we are looking at probably quarters. By alignment, we're looking at possibly quarters. So pass set comes off, tight end comes off the line of scrimmage here, under. And route wise, we're getting, obviously this is Cole Kmet coming under. We're getting what looks like in breaking route from an economic St. Brown, sort of a dig and go possibly by Darnell Mooney, and out here by Pettis, and then an outside release. Obviously that's a half back to the top of the screen. David Montgomery on a route. Pettis really is the only player that's currently on. You could potentially throw into a spot here, but again, in terms of pass protection, we've got problems in the backfield. Let's see what's happened on the pass protection. So Larry gets beaten. It's a stunt. It's actually a stunt. So Tevin hasn't given up any ground, but Larry has. So it's going to look like Larry's going to get beat, but this is actually a twist. So you see, comes back to the inside, takes over. We're late on the release from the twist because we've become disassociated from each other. That's why it makes it look like both guard and tackle. We'll see this better from this angle. So this basically is going to be a twist. So we're going to go first, head up on Larry, then come to the inside. Obviously, Tevin's going to take this guy here. The problem is Tevin doesn't move off the line of scrimmage, which is a problem in this situation because Larry's pass setting, and that creates this void to the inside. The only way to possibly do this is to post step back at this point. So Larry needs to post step back here into that gap, which he does at that point. He's post stepping, but you can see how disassociated in terms of distance. We're over a yard back from each other here in terms of that. So switching off on that twist, because there it goes inside to outside. There's that twist, and Tevin is not in a position to take over. Larry is in a position to take over the outside guy, but the problem is we're already on Justin there, and that's why Justin just has to throw it away. So that was the first drive where things went wrong. We're now going on to the second drive where things started to go right. And what's the difference, you might ask? And that's what we're going to take a look at. Tight end to right, I formation. Nagy didn't come here to run the I formation, but luckily we've got a Getsy coordinator who has a clue about running an offense. And as you see, in terms of alignment, again, we're outside the line on the wide receiver, off the line of scrimmage, outside the line on the wide receiver. You can see from the proximity to the numbers, just maybe half a step, but again, it's still outside alignment, giving you the clues that we're looking at. 4 down linemen. This time we have 3 linebackers on the field, so it's more of a traditional sort of set. Motion comes in, we travel in, but we don't follow, we don't completely trail. You see the linebacker now giving an indication, so that's giving us the clues up front before the snap. Snap goes on, get a nice double there. We're going to get a double here by the looks of things. There it goes. So there's double. Sam hasn't got play side, but it's not so much of a problem because you can see Blazingame's going to come up in this gap. David's going to come up and follow him. Darnell's coming over to second level. EQ's coming inside the tight end on this side. There goes EQ on the inside. Larry's doing a good job there. Tevin Jenkins chasing Owusu Koromoa like he's really after him. Blasingame is stalking his linebacker, the guy who gave the late hit onto Justin Fields. So there comes Blasingame. Nice big contact there. Tevin Jenkins just about getting enough on Owusu Koromoa to keep him off. Larry loses position there, but he's done well to get to that point. David Montgomery is going to get at least 2-3 yards off the back of that, and Blasingame gets in, gets a bit more contact at the end of it. I love the fact that he keeps chasing after people in his blocks. So again, let's see it up front. Let's see what we're getting. Motion comes in. You can quite clearly see no one has trailed. So Owusu Koromoa, there's going to be the double, and it's the only double we're getting because obviously it's a single block there. Obviously there you got Braxton Jones and Cody Whitehair taking over. Cody just comes off this block a little bit too quickly for me, if I'm being honest. I want to see a hand on, knock that guy off the line of scrimmage. It's really just no more than putting a wave goodbye as we're going over to second. 98 who twists inside, does a good job. Whitehair takes over. Braxton again with the outside blitzing linebacker comes off and takes him, stones him. Tevin coming off the double here, so we get a double initially. Tight end's going to be Ryan Griffin going to be leaving here. We're going to get a double here, and then Tevin's going to come off, or Larry's going to come off. Should I say? No, Tevin comes off. So that's great contact there to put him on the ground, and then Larry takes over, keeps the position. Just want to see Larry sort of finish him a little bit there. He does well to get back up, actually, defensive tackle. Tevin Jenkins comes onto Owusu Koromoa, tries to run around the block, something I don't like linebackers to do, but he tries to run the block, gets underneath him. Blazing comes up, stones him. It's a good take on by the linebacker, so he sort of stones him a little bit, but it's enough for David to get through. We're getting onto him, and we're getting good positive yards on first down. So we got good yards on first down. We are now on second down. It's much shorter down and distance than we had in the first drive. We can see Blasingame, it's a real heavy set to this side, like a wing, double wing. So you can see we've got Griffin on the line in terms of the tight end. Yeah, just point him out here. And then we're going to see, obviously, Blasingame there, Cole Kmet there, obviously just standard 5 down lineman, 1 wide receiver, which is Darnell Mooney, who's actually a very underrated blocker for me. Motion comes across. What is motion telling you? Well, you can quite clearly see that we've just got a shift. We haven't got a trail, so we're not man. So, and then we're getting more even in terms of the look. Wing here, tight end on the line here. Okay, in terms of numbers, you're then starting to look, counting the numbers either side of the centre. Let's draw a straighter line. We can use a straight line tool there. So we're going through the centre's feet. So you start counting your numbers in terms of what you have to which side in strength. 1, 2, 3 defenders up here, possible 4th to join. 1, 2, 3, possible 4th, and that would make him 5 to this side. So obviously that's where the strength is. They're playing it okay. What looks like a wham block from Blazing Game here. Tight end comes. In fact, is that a switch with the tackle? It might be a switch with the tackle. It is. So it's Braxton Jones actually coming outside here. So this is really interesting because this is what shows you why they like him so much, because of this athleticism to come out and sort of stretch out. Cody and Sam Mustafa getting a good job there. Tevin Jenkins one-on-one with a defensive tackle washes him down. And then you can see it's all subterfuge, but we keep 2 linebackers in. This guy's obviously bailed. You've got man on man here with a linebacker. Single, but probably our best wide receiver here. So in terms of what have you actually got here? So you've got, if this is zone, which we knew it was zone over this side, coming back to what we're looking at here. So in terms of defenders for pass, 1, 2, 3 to this side, possible 4th. So in terms of zone, you're probably going to get under, probably going to get possibly flat defender or man. And then again, you're going to get the same on the opposite side. It looks like 1 high safety over the top, possible 2 there. So cover 6 potentially, cover 6 man. Looks like cover 6 man, which means that's on there. Obviously that's man on man. We've got a lot of room to work with if we want to put the ball out here. That's doing a good job, and we're so far off the line of scrimmage here. This looks like a really good spot to sort of throw the ball. And then off the back of that, if this guy departs too quickly to try and help out here, then Ryan is open. If he comes up here, then obviously Ryan is open. If he goes deep, then this is open because you can see the other defenders are way off and this is clearing out. So that will give you Blazing Game as a check down. Let's see what we go with. It is Justin doesn't want to throw over the top to Cole Kmet, who he could put it on the outside shoulder here, and then Colt's got the option to deviate the route and track in the air if you trust him. But at the end of the day, this is where the first down marker is. You can clearly see it. There's Blazing Game, get the ball. We've got, you know, yards and yards and yards before we've got to make a defender miss. Just nice, easy catch, easy for him to take on. Give your fullback a chance to run at safety and run him over, which he does, just go straight through him. Yeah, good first down, an easy first down off the back of that. So there's the motion. As it gets to the centre, you see this linebacker stop. So that tells you half field zone or man or match possibly. And it does look like match because this then becomes the match defender. Match defender in terms of it's going to be match coverage on whoever comes to this side. So that's the first defender. That's the match coverage. This is the match coverage here in terms of, but you see that they're bitten so hard. So Ryan is open, Griffin is actually open here, Blazing Game's open here. In terms of pass protection up front, what's it look like? There's that sort of outside, 2 guys going off this way, 1 there, 1 there. Braxton, what does he do? Comes out to his guy Nice, who's sort of sat, gets up in his chest, nice hand position, driving it down. Sam and Cody, nice job there. Tevin Jenkins, washing his guy across, 1 hand block there. He then sort of shifts and goes. They realise the run's no longer on. What's Larry done with his block? Sort of walked him across. You see how he's trying to wall off there. That's exactly what you want to do on a boot action, and that's what he does. Loads of time for Justin. He's got his choice, and as you can see here, worried about the deep player, which is exactly why it's the perfect read and a good throw. Make it easy for your fullback. Go and run somebody over, and he does. Play number 6 on the drive, and you can again we're sort of the use of tight ends is going to be very interesting given that we've only sort of kept 2/3 with the addition of the pickup that we got from the Jets. another Jets defender, so obviously Ryan Griffin maybe with a bit of inside information there. Two tight ends to this side, half back also to this side of the field, narrow side of the field. So let's see what it, in terms of what it dictates in terms of coverages, etc, etc, etc. We've had a first down off the last play. Let's see what we get. Looks like two high safeties and inside position this time, so inside leverage there. Obviously in terms of coverage there, you're looking at possible zone, because that's going to be again for Darnell Mooney, and it is just a quick bail. You see it's like a quick bubble screen, and that I think is based upon like a pre-snap read and communication possibly. I'm not sure it's a called play. Nice double up front, nice double up front, nice double here. Easy stuff. Linebacker's coming up to fill. It's not going to be that though, it's just going to be a quick tunnel because we've only got one defender here. We're really far off and we're really far off. That's going to be a big ask for any linebacker to stay with 4.36 Darnell Mooney. Get the ball out and in front, which it is. Nice hands catch by Darnell Mooney, lovely. Equanimous St. Brown, we know he's a good blocker up front, and I've covered him in terms of what he did. And then the safeties come up and made really good ground now actually to sort of read that early, the tunnel screen. Just gets a piece of Darnell Mooney's legs, just trips him a little bit. Equanimous St. Brown, nice block there. Darnell's taking the right option, which is to go outside on that block. It's the right way to go. And again, on first down, we're picking at what, 4 or 5 yards? And that's going to make second down so much easier. So again, from the other side, in terms of pass protection, what we're looking at, Braxton singled up here, double, double, double in terms of here. It's going to be an easy pass protect particularly. And you see, David is selling that sort of, you know, the handoff, but it's clearly, it's an option to hand off if they are up nice and close. But if not, clearly it's just a quick tunnel screen. So the wide receiver's quick bubble on the outside. Darnold does the right job there. Both defenders come off, but it's a nice, like I say, it's a nice easy 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards on first down. So now we're looking at second and probably 5 or 6 in terms of alignment again. Okay, one tight end to this side, offset backs in terms of to the strength side. This side being the strength side. Obviously stacked wide receivers here. So you've got to stack, but what you have is one to the outside, one there. That's telling you it's zone. I'm going to take the outside guy, you're going to take the inside guy. It could potentially convert to man that way. Linebacker here is widening. 4 down linemen, so you know this guy is up to the back side of the play. Motion comes in. What is the motion telling you? Well, quite clearly now we know this is some sort of zone, and we're getting a roll up from this safety. So again, and this is again because of numbers. So the safety is rolling up now, and this guy is widening to be outside contain. So that's what it's telling you pre-snap. Equanimous comes right outside the alignment. Now we have sort of numbers in the box. Let's count the numbers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blockers. So we're looking okay if this is a run, providing we get the blocks obviously. Pass set quite clearly, straight off the snap, double here, single there. So Sam Mustafa, I gave him lots of jip last year, struggling with single blocking, doing a really fantastic job, Sam Mustafa. Well done you, sir. That's a really good pass block. Cody Whitehair singled on his guy. Braxton Jones all day, every day. We'll take that in terms of pass protection. Justin got time to step up, which he does. Presses the line of scrimmage, shows the ball. Obviously blazing game with outside to here, but this is really the option. If Justin does see him, Ryan Griffin clearing this linebacker here right now, lollipop it up over here, and Ryan is off and running in acres of space. But Justin tucks it, pulls it, comes down. I'm not disappointed with that because that's quite tight. That's quite tight. This is tight here. That was really the only option. But again, I'm not going to really. He's escaping the pocket at this point. He's pressing up to line of scrimmage. That's probably 1. That's probably 2. This is probably 3 to that side. Justin's pressing the line of scrimmage. Now we're in scramble drill kind of territory, and that's where really he's looking this way to see what blocking he's getting. Blazing game turns into a block. Well, it doesn't turn into a blocker. Runs past his guy. Really disappointing actually. Once you see him tuck it, that we see both guys run past. We want to see them turn into blockers at this point. Justin goes up. Wisely, we've got the first down. We can see the first down here. Wisely takes a slide, and then we get douchebag cheap shot here. Comes in. You see complaint there, but then the offensive line boys come in and we're gonna have a bit of a problem. You're gonna hit my QB like that. So again, Sam Mustafa, I'm gonna praise you right here. Larry Borum getting interested in getting involved in this. Cody Whitehair getting involved. Blazing Game getting involved, and then Ryan finds the perpetrator, Phillips, and says, "Let's have a little word over here, mate, because you do that again, I'm gonna smash you." Love it. Don't love him being hit, but I do love the fact that the guy's taking up. So again, double there all day, every day. Braxton Jones, great body position here. In terms of you want to know what you look at, you're sitting on the chair, that's perfect. Patient with the hands, waiting for your defender to strike, perfect. In terms of letting him strike, look at that hand strike there, over the hands. You see him go over the hands, into the pads, really good technique. Lovely drive block there in terms of converting the pass block into a drive block to wash him back in here. Sam Mustafa, who really struggled with this last year in terms of man-on-man, taking a bull rush. I've got to say, really works his feet really well and really working his hands really well. That's excellent technique by Sam Mustafa. Well done, sir. Well done. Here's where we see Ryan Griffin, and you see Justin's basically looking here. He just doesn't see him clear this defender. You can quite clearly see he's looking here for David Montgomery. He's looking for Blazing Game on the outside. He's pushing the ball, trying to get the defender to wash off. He does, gets the first down, slide down. There's absolutely no need for this. He's sliding down. You don't need to lead with the shoulder across the front of the helmet. It's a deliberate shot. And Sam comes in, gives him a right shot, right punch to the jaw. And then Griffin comes in. He's like, yeah, let's have a word, fella. Love it. I'd like to see the aggression. Good stuff. So again, we haven't had a third down yet, which is good news. It's encouraging to see in terms of what we've got up front. Tight end offset to that side. I formation yet again. Are we going to get a pre-snap motion now? I don't know. Let's see. Who have we got on the field? Economia St. Brown, Darnell Mooney. That's clearly your 1-2 at wide receiver. If you want any clues, there it is. In terms of defenders, what have we got? Griffin comes across. He's going to cross the centre. So let's see if this is going to be man. Because if he goes all the way across, which he does, we know now we are in man coverage. So that means one high safety. Looks like possible cover 3 with man under. Backing off here. Let's see what we run. So it is a handoff. And this, I think this is the holding call, which I think is also bullshit, but you know, we'll take it. So 6 of one, half a dozen the other here. Ryan Griffin is going to get called for the hold. I think that's bullshit. Here's the double here. That's nice. Again, asking Sam Mustafa with a one tech to the left hand. Again, it's probably the better side for a centre to have it to the left, but he's getting no help at all from the guard. So it's a single block. Look at him get his head play side. This is such a difference from last year. Really good stuff. Tevin already off on a double. We've already got him off the line of scrimmage with him and Larry Borum. That's really good to see on the back side of the play. And that's the reason why I think the cutback is so successful, because we're still washing down. And by the time it would come in, and Ryan Griffin, how this is a hold, I don't know. Because at that point, is he deviating the player from movement? The player is not moving. Ryan is. As he turns to make the tackle, he just pushes him, helps him down. That's just an absolute, and it's a lady assistant referee. So you know, at the end of the day, this really isn't a hold. She probably is going to get talked to about that. I don't want to see in the chat any crap about sexism. Not down for that at all. But in terms of up front, Tevin, great job here. You know, look at that block there. Wusi Koramara is going to go off to the sideline. It looks like Texas all over again. But he sort of spins and Tevin falls off at the end. Larry Borum washing his guy across. Good. David cuts back. Braxton, and look at this double here. Look at the movement we get up front here. This is such a sea change from last year, guys. This is fantastic to see. Look at the distance we've got here. And then there's that cutback lane. David Montgomery, as David Montgomery does, sniffs a cutback lane, takes it. There you go, through the lane. That hand tackle's going to do nothing. Equanimous St. Brown. Okay, well, I've got into this side of the defender. Let's go back outside. Watch Justin Fields up here. Watch the acceleration now once David gets there. Look at this acceleration, how much you're closing the gap. This is ridiculous. And he's like, okay, David, I'm not going to actually get a block on there. When he gets to this point and David starts slowing down, I'm not going to get a block. If you carry on, maybe I can catch up and make a block. Blazing Game's looking for someone to kill, you know, which he's definitely someone who goes on the hunt. Once he's had his first block, he's looking for someone else to snot. I love that in a fullback. And he does, gives him a little shot at the end. Yeah, you've already made the tackle. I'm going to let you know I'm here anyway. love that, Kari. You know, there's that motion, there's that man, slide over here from the D line. So in terms of knowing your numbers, again, you know, you're getting your double here because he's come inside. Otherwise, maybe it might have been Ryan Griffin taking on that block. But because the man came across, we're taking the man. Again, into his chest. This is called a hold. It's just really not, because he's not deviating. He's standing still at that point. He's not trying to break the line of the body and come inside. It should not be called a hold. As he goes to make the tackle, Ryan Griffin pushes into the ground. Okay, let's see this double. This really is nice work here. Keep your eyes on this, because they really do get him off the line of scrimmage. And almost a 2-for-1 here with Braxton Jones pushing the defensive tackle into linebacker. Blazing Gang comes in to clean up there. There's Tevin washing Owusu Koromora across. There's Larry, who's, you know, again, inside shade, defensive tackle. The only thing is, you know, maybe try and just work your hand to the play side, but he's got the lead on him. It's going to be difficult. So what you have to do is basically keep driving him across this way. And that's what Larry does. You can't really expect him to get his head across at that point. It's just not going to happen. But just keep washing him across. He does. Player ends up on the ground. David Montgomery doing what David Montgomery does. Cutting back, making people look silly. Economist goes for a tumble. We love that. Kari Blazing Game looking, sprinting his absolute nuts off, trying to get downfield and make a block. Okay, he's on my boy. Is my boy going to stay up? Because if he is, I'm going to take him off. He doesn't. And then again, you're going to see from the far side, Justin Fields running like a bat out of hell, trying to catch up. He really just closed up a lot of ground in a short period of time there. This is a great play. So we've had a bullshit holding call. That would normally be the death of the drive last year for Nagy's Bears, but this isn't the same team. Let's see what we're going to get up front again. In terms of personnel, we've got a tight end over here. We now have, I think it's Simba Webster here. I think that's Pettis there, Darnell Mooney there. Obviously, we've still got Demo in the backfield. So obviously, this is the boundary side, which is the short side of the field. That's the field side, the wide side of the field. In terms of alignment, again, you start counting numbers. Looks like pass pro, and it's interesting because you get a sort of a check release here and a check release here. Obviously, Khalil Herbert actually in the backfield. He's going to be looking inside to out, both directions. Simba's got this guy off the line of scrimmage. Braxton's looking for something to do. He's waiting for his guy to come, which he is coming. In terms of coverage, what have we got? Well, obviously over the top. Clear that off. Over the top corner, 2 high safeties, so it looks like quarters coverage here to me. Obviously, that's the only defender that can threaten this outside, only wide receiver that can threaten that outside, which Darnell is. You see him running to the outside hip. He's trying to get him to flip. Which is not. The reason why he's pressing these hips, and this is, again, that Brian Boldinger broke this down earlier in the week, and it's Dante Pettis and it's Darnell Mooney. Look at the, almost in unison with where they are on the field, and they're going to basically run sort of 18 to 16 yard digs, and look at where they break in terms of up here. They're both in exactly the same position, and again, in terms of settling, it's not how fast you run necessarily, it's how fast you stop and then come back. And look at the distance there that we've already got separation. Again, separation was a massive issue. This is basically man to that side, but because you stop so quickly and you come back so there's the first down marker. We're interested in getting as much yardage as we can. In terms of when it's Justin throwing the ball, okay, we've already made the decision. He's already made his decision right now. Just single hitch throw straight away, no double clutch, no nothing else. Single hitch, ball is coming out right now. He's actually just started his break, pretty much in absolute unison. Right, ball's out right there, ball is out. It's going to come to here. Pettis is making a catch on his hips and still able then to turn and go to this side of the field. If we can run off the back of this defender, we can't. But at the end of the day, that's kind of the line of gain right here. And that really is, like I say, it's a complete sea change to what we would have had. We'd have been, you know, there's 1st and 20. We probably would have been, you know, 1st and 40 at some point down here and then out of field goal range. But no, in terms of second down, we're going to be looking at roughly here. 2nd and 5 or 6, you'll take that all day of the week. In terms of pass protection front, we'll look at the pass protection now. Clearly double. So single, but with a hand on. So you're looking inside for this guy. If Tevin needs any out, probably doesn't, because in the it's Tevin Jenkins. So You leave him one-on-one there. Perry and Winfrey, obviously their rookie. Gets a decent shot to his chest and his face, but look at him work his hands. You see him working his hands and feet, getting back inside. I love the patience here by Larry. Just stay on him, just keep him there, because we've got so much distance out. We don't need to worry. So let's look at Braxton. Braxton's over there. Okay, still waiting for him, because Simba actually did a really good job surprising the linebacker off that release, and then the other linebacker's taking him. So he gets a long arm to the chest. Let's see how you work with it, rookie. Let's see what you do, because the ball rush has been an issue. Elbow lever, that's exactly the way you want to do it. But if anything, really, elbow lever's one way, but I'd like to see you cross your elbow across his wrist, smash his wrist, get it off your chest. But again, he's got such long arms, and he's getting pushed back there, but he's done well. Okay, so what's Sam Mustafa doing? Well, nice double with Cody. Cody's looking, do I need to give him a rookie help? No, of course I don't, it's Braxton Jones. We'll just keep this guy on the line of scrimmage. He's going to go nowhere. Toe guy is going to go nowhere at all. Pettis catches the ball. We're in second and short. What a difference. Maybe a little bit optimistic with the second and short. It's a bad spot, as you can see. We've had a bad spot, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of the day, second and 7 off first and 20 is still manageable. Let's see what we get on second down. So in terms of what we're going to get a motion. Again, in terms of, it's a little bit early, but we see linebacker widening to Darnell Mooney, which kind of said, screams zone at you. Off alignment and to the outside, screams outside zone. Kind of points too high. But as the motion comes in, what is this safety going to do? This one's obviously starting to trail across now, because we're looking at Darnell and just alignment. You see them rolling over. And then as he crosses back into the backfield, now the safety's coming up. Okay, fullback's in the backfield, not a receiver anymore. I'm coming up. That kind of screams 3. Let's see what we get. He really has rolled up now onto the line of scrimmage. And then in terms of what we're getting, so you see Cole is trying to work that inside leverage to get across that line of scrimmage. He just gets caught up in the wash a little bit here, Cole. And it's going to be a play action. So again, you want to make it look like that zone and put the ball out there, really show the ball. Khalil Herbert doesn't actually put his hands up, which is, again, you're giving clues to the linebackers. Khalil, please put your hands up. Even if you're going to make this block here, just put your hands up to give the play action more of a sell. Darnell Mooney off in acres of space running off these two. Safety's actually looking over this way, so this is maybe why they looked at that kind of route here. So here's like your levels, and this is like your half field. That's your levels concept. That's your flood, east-west flood. So sorry, levels concept to this side with this, and then east-west flood, which is this way, with these two. Braxton manages to land on his room. But anyway, the pass protection looks good up front. Again, this boot action, and again, boot action Justin Fields with all this sort of space to run across, trading in man over the back and over the top here. These guys have got the jets on, because linebacker running with wide receiver who runs 4-4 low 4-4s. That's difficult. Darnell's obviously running it all off downfield. In terms of EQ, we could possibly put the ball out here to EQ, just lollipop it over the top a little bit, let him run onto it. But again, we're looking at first down, Justin, and that's exactly what Justin's doing. He's got plenty of yardage on this defender, who's in man. Nice hands catch there, Cole Kmet. Turn, stops a little bit sudden, spins, but at the end of the day, we're just interested in the first down, and then he uses his weight just by sheer will alone. Gets a couple of extra yards. Pass protection up front, what does it look like? Okay, so there's that sort of zone action kind of thing. Nice sell actually here by Cody Whitehair again. Tevin really hasn't got anyone to block at all. Larry's just basically staying between him and quarterback. Just settle your feet there, Larry. Okay, now go looking for somebody else. You see them, they're still selling something over here. So I wonder whether at some point, if these two halfbacks stay up on the field and we do this boot action, I wonder whether later in the season we're going to see this boot action and then have a throwback to one of these defenders. All these lovely blockers out here, because look at how hard they've bitten. And again, maybe I'm tipping the hand of what the Bears are going to do. 6 defenders over this side of the field. We know we've got safety over here and we've got cornerback. So we've actually got 8 defenders chasing Justin Fields and the 3 wide receivers to this side of the field. We have a massive numbers mismatch over here for a throwback. But unfortunately, 1 back on the ground, 2 backs on the ground. Braxton Jones on top of Kari Blasingame. He'll never want that to happen again. But there you go. That's possible, hints. Plays off of plays. Zone action. we've only got 2 defenders over to that side of the field, Owusu Koromoa and the defensive end. For a throwback now, this is money all day long. If you want to then turn this into a throwback, you can. But at the end of the day, we're looking at first down on this play. Good job, Cole Kmet. Drive, get your first down. Move on, move the chains, moving into the red zone, you see. So this is the next play, and you'll see we haven't done a sideline view, and the reason why is because we're going to see cadence. Again, something that Matt Nagy seemed to know nothing about, but we seem to have an idea about now. We get cadence, and sometimes QBs, they'll bob their head, etc. when they're hard counting. And you can also sometimes get called, or they'll flinch their hands or whatever. Clearly, you see him eyeballing this defender, looking straight at him. So, off he goes, and there you go, a free 5 yards. Snap the ball, yeah, good job. Snap the ball, we'll take our 5 yards. Lovely, gets blown dead. And again, I think we're in a good position pass set wise as well, because we've got the numbers. We've got Pettis already looking like open. We've got Kmet looking open, middle of the field there. But at the end of the day, we've got the free 5 yards. Thank you. We'll move on.